Hi, Tricia Morris here at Club Scrap, and this is the welcome folder that our guests received when they came to the retreat hosted at the Tundra Lodge in Green Bay in August and October. And so upon arrival, this would have been in their welcome bag, and it's just a cute little welcome folio. There's some information for arrivals, odds and ends, the curriculum schedule, the itinerary, and the workshop autograph book, plus an invitation to our evening dinner. So every year I'm tasked with figuring out a fun and creative way to present this information to our guests, and I happen to make this out of a file folder. And I've had some requests from attendees that really would like to learn how to make this for themselves. So I'm going to show you how to make a folio like this just out of a simple manila file folder. I used black for the retreat, but this time I'm going to use a manila color. It's a little easier to see. You'll need some washi tape and a scoreboard. I always like to use an upgraded bone folder that's actually made of bone. With this, there's only two numbers you need to remember, and they're easy: 5 1/4 and 7 1/4. And I have this file folder that if you open it, that the tab is on the lower left. If that's not the case, you can just always reverse the fold of the folder. It's not a big deal. Or just let the tab be on the other side. It really doesn't matter, just as long as it's not a center cut tab. Place the file folder in your ScorPal so that the folded edge is right up against the edge and the top corner of the ScorPal. And we will score at 5 1/4. Now this dimension can be changed, but my goal was to hold 5 by 7 items in the folder. So we will score at 5 1/4. And notice I'm scoring through both layers. It works just fine with the thickness of this inexpensive budget file folder. It's absolutely going through both layers. Granted, the scores won't always be in the direction I want them to be in, but this is just the easiest way to do it, especially when I was making, more than 100 of them at a time. Okay, then I'm flipping the folder over so that the tab is in the lower right corner and that the folded edge is at the top of my ScorPal. And I'm going to score at 7 1/4. Once again, I'm scoring through both layers. Notice I made 3 passes or so just to make sure I have a good solid score line going all the way through. So now if I open this, I see that I have this 5 1/4 by 7 1/4 inch folded shape here, and I have some flaps and all kinds of other things going on. So this is really clever how it comes together. I'm going to grab a scissors with kind of a longer blade, and I'm going to make a dart shaped cut at the center score line that goes all the way to the first score. The first intersecting score. So I'm just removing a center V-shaped piece from the folder. And then I need to do the same thing, but I don't really need to make as deep of a V on this score line that's right here. So just go right from the edge and stop when I reach the intersecting score line. And I'm going to take out just a very, very small piece that compares to the thickness of the score line, actually. I'll do the same thing on the other side. We need to make an angled pocket. So I have a really easy way to do this. And again, I'm making hundreds of these, so I had to find time-saving tricks, which I'm happy to pass on to you. I'm using my grid ruler, and I'm corresponding with this horizontal score line right here. I'm going to put my 1 inch measurement for the ruler onto that score line. And you can look at the far left, far right to make sure you're aligned at 1 inch. Okay, so now I'm going to go from the bottom corner of this piece, and I'm going to fold at an angle until I reach the edge of my until I reach the edge of my ruler. I'm just making a little triangular fold here. I'll do the same on the other side. Now, granted, I made this V cut with my scissors. I'm not looking for like flawlessly accurate here. I just wanted to have a 1 inch height to my angle on the pocket. Then I'll take my ATG gun. You could also use bookbinding glue for this job, but again, I was looking for speed, and this helped me get that accomplished. So now I'm going to tack these flaps down and then fold up on the score line. And you can start to see a pocket forming here and an angled pocket forming here. Isn't that great? Okay, so we enter the washi tape. We're just going to tack these pockets down. Now you could make a gusset, for this so that you don't have a visible, piece of tape here. Again, I was looking for efficiency, so this washi tape situation worked just fine for me. But if you really want to get professional with it, go ahead and, you know, make a little piece of paper that's folded so that it can just, you know, be really attractive on the seams if you wish. I think that looks very nice though. I've got my pockets now ready to go. Now what you want to do is fold in on this flap and bring the bottom pocket up. To secure that bottom flap, I'm going to take a piece of washi tape and run it along the edge of the entire seam. Once again, your choice here if you want to use washi tape, or you could just create another gusset so it looks extremely professional, and I could certainly do that. And then the same thing here, we're going to fold in on this side and then up on the tab. And stretch your washi tape across the edge of the outside seam here. Tear it, and I always like to close it, fold backward on that. Okay, so let's just navigate now. You've got your front cover, you've got your outer pockets, and then if you open further, you've got your inner pockets. Now the way I held it all together was with these awesome, and these are Velcro dots. I'm going to take one of the dots, and if you really, really want to, you could center, figure out where your center is with your grid ruler. What am I talking about? 3 3¾ and there's my 0, so I'll just kind of center this half of the Velcro dot there. Then you have the fuzzy side. So this was the hook side, here's the loop side. It is hook and loop dots. Alright, so then I'll just marry the hook to the loop, sticky sides facing up. All I have left to do is just close it, and then now I have a Velcro closure for my folio. You could do so many endless things with these. I'm going to take a second and show you one that I just made with some papers from the Gone Wild collection. In fact, I just finished it so much that I was worried about my little giraffe that I'd glued on falling off, but it seems to have cured while I was filming this tutorial. So I made this the exact same way that you just saw. And I began just taking my ruler. I don't have instructions for this, but I just took my ruler and I measured. Of course, this is 5¼ by 7¼ so you can trim your papers to 5 by 7 to start covering the back and front cover. And I just love how this turned out. I used the circular die cuts also from Gone Wild, some cut aparts, the charm. I have more plans for the binocular charm in this set. Oh, it's just so sweet. So that's the outside cover. The back cover too, I double matted a portion of that dark brown print. Knowing I was going to be decorating the inside, I waited to attach those Velcro dots to the folder until I had some papers installed. But here you can see I've decorated these outer pockets. These pieces come out. You could add clips to them, or add photos or journaling, whatever you wish. And then when you open this up, these flaps have been decorated. And then these pieces come out and they can have things added to each side. So there's a lot of potential here with this. One of the other things I wanted to point out is that I did mimic the style of the tab by simply using my envelope punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. So here's that punch board, and you can easily create that same sort of a file folder edge by simply taking whatever panel you're working with and centering it right in the middle of the punch that's used to make the envelopes. If you give that a punch, you can see that it creates that style of edging, and that's exactly what I did on these pieces. I also used the envelope punch board to create the tabs for these pullouts. I just made 3-inch tabs using the punch. So for example, I brought this over to 3, and then you just remove the rest of that piece to create your own custom little file folder tab. Clever as can be. Well, have fun giving this a try for yourself. Give yourself a break on that first prototype, and then you can go to town. I'll see you next time.